Hi, I'm Randy Hollenbeck, and this is the Music Roundtable. Today on the show, we have Jaycee Clark from Blank Era.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Everything seems fine, but underneath the surface, I'm fighting for my life. You say that you love me, but it's just for show. When the going gets tough, you know where to go. You only love me when I'm bleeding, when I'm barely alive. Never know how far you're sinking, so I'm sipping on poison, hoping to survive. In this rose called the world, I'm better off blind. You only love me when I'm bleeding, when I'm barely alive.
I just want to dig in some history starting out. What sparked your interest in music, and what age were you when that started?
Okay, I tell this story all of the time because it is so just aligned with who I am. So I can remember being in first grade on the first day of school, and they gave us like a questionnaire to fill out with various questions. And one was, "What's your favorite TV show?" And I wrote the Grammys because I was just obsessed with music and being on stage and that whole idea. And as a painfully shy kid growing up, as I got a little bit older, I found that writing and performing in my room was like a really great way to sort of process feelings that I had no way of being able to express otherwise. So I think music has always been a huge part of my life.
Okay. Who were some of the vocalists you looked up to?
So at first, I kind of just listened to a lot of what my mom listened to, which was like Mariah Carey and Celine Dion and Whitney Houston and like these big belty singers. And I think that it was when I saw like Shirley Manson and Gwen Stefani for the first time that I was like, you mean we can be in a band and we can do that? And then my eyes were just opened to wanting to pursue that path, to just be in a rock band and do something aggressive, but still feel like I didn't have to sacrifice any of like my femininity in order to do so. And I think those two ladies in particular were a huge influence on me.
And like you were saying about the where they belled out the words, I could definitely see that and hear it in your music.
Good, it's working then.
How did you come up with the name Blank Era?
So, Blank Era started when I was just taking sort of a backseat to music for a while and just trying to like get my head back in the game, work through some mental health stuff. And I kept seeing a lot of the girls on TikTok being like, I'm in my healing era, I'm in my villain era, and just kind of like constantly shifting who they were depending on what was going on in their life. And so I was like, that's actually kind of cute. I think I kind of want to steer into that idea. So when I was working on this project, I had Blank Era in my notes app, and the idea was to figure out a word to put in front of it. But the longer I sat on it, I'm like, maybe blank is just the word, because I truly like that idea of constantly being able to shift what that word is and not pigeonhole yourself into one particular thing at any time. And I also thought it was sort of symbolic of my own personal like blank page, clean slate, that whole thing. So the dual meaning really resonated with me, and I just decided to commit and move on with life. So there it is, Blank Era.
Now, who did you work with for this album? What producer?
So I worked with Kyle Odell, who's done basically everything I've done since I've been in the music industry. I trust him implicitly. I think he has great ideas. He truly cares about making sure that each song is great and not just, doing whatever he wants to do, get a quick paycheck. So Kyle Odell is the man. He kills it with production. He kills it with mixes. Cannot sing his praises enough. But I also got a chance to work with some writers that I've never really gotten to work with before. Dusty Waring, formerly of BT Bam, really did the heavy work with some of the guitars. So I was super grateful to have him involved. And then Brandon Merluccio and Barry were really great collaborators as well on a couple of the songs. So, I love you guys. Thank you for helping me take what was going on up here and actually create tracks that I cannot believe are actually mine.
Now, did you go in with like a blank slate and you just created in the studio, or was there like ideas, or how did you go about doing this?
So when we started the EP, I knew that I had a theme for what I wanted the entire journey to be, which was basically talking about the grief and the guilt that you feel when you are breaking up with a version of yourself that you feel like is holding you back. So there's a lot of weird emotions, just a lot of mental processing. And so I knew that I wanted to touch on all of the stages of grief and just kind of process how I was feeling. And then each day I just kind of went in there and I was like, okay, this is how I'm feeling. This is how I want to spin it. And then we just wrote a song from scratch around that. So I went in there with a concept of a plan, and and then we worked it out. And I think that doing that was the best way to do it because it did not give me time to overanalyze, which is something that I am brutally guilty of. I'm a chronic overthinker. So just to go in there and immediately in the moment say and do what I was feeling, I feel like was the best way to get like the most raw um, example of what I was going through in the moment.
So you were like, you went in and like knocked out like a song a day?
Yeah, it would be probably. I think we went in there and we would kind of like have like a melody idea for the chorus, and I had like the chorus title written because I knew I wanted to base everything around that. So we'd kind of go in with that, and then we would take a day to sort of build the instrumental around that idea, and then go back in and do the vocals. So sort of a day for instrumental, a day for vocals. While kind of always working on vocals as it went along. So yeah, I think it was about 2 weeks of just day after day driving it home. And then there was a song where I was like, I think I should have done it in a different key, which is really boring for listeners to listen to. But then I retracked the song in a different key because I thought it was a little low. But
Did you feel like by doing it this way that it was like freeing and very experimental and stuff like that?
100%. It felt so liberating and so free to just kind of do whatever I wanted without feeling like I would, like I said, pigeonholed to be any one thing. When you're doing the same thing for so long in the writing process, it's like, oh, well, this works for us. Maybe we need to hit these checkpoints. Oh, that works. We need to do that. But to do something completely from scratch, there's nobody to tell you, I don't really listen to that stuff, so I don't want to do that, or the whole world is your oyster. And so I really wanted to push myself outside of my normal comfort zone and just try to have fun creating something that I'm proud of. And I think I got it. I think I did it. It's like, regardless of if anybody else likes it, I like it. And that's something that I have strived for so long because I think I really lost sight of that for a long time. I was more concerned about what other people would think than what I would think.
So you're happy and you're not nervous about.
No, I mean, it was the first release that I've done in a long time where I had no anxiety. And if you know me, I'm the world's most anxious girl. So I was just relieved. I'm like, oh my God, it's out there. Like, people told me that I couldn't do this or that it was a bad idea to do this. And I did it anyway. And that was kind of the whole point, is to prove to myself that I'm capable to do whatever I want and just to have fun creating music again. And so, nailed it.
And you work with Project Sound Foundation. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, Project Sound is a nonprofit organization that helps artists that are up and coming to be able to fund their projects. Because creating music, if you didn't know, is super expensive. So being able to partner with them and them kind of guide me and help me finance being able to record this EP and then kind of walk me through the distribution process of it has been game changer. I cannot thank them enough for, valuing what I do and helping take my crazy little brainchild and make it a reality. So thanks, y'all. Mama loves you.
And you named the album Rotted. Is there a meaning behind that?
Yeah, so like I said, the entire thing is about breaking up with a version of yourself that has been essentially dead a long time. And I felt like I had tried to drag this version of myself along for so long that the bitch was rotted. Like, we're past being gone. Like, it's starting to affect us in more ways than one. And it's just kind of about the exhaustion and numbness that you feel and just tired on a soul level from trying to be a version of you that's just not there. And then I also really liked the idea with the album cover. I have it across a t-shirt of kind of showing that you've been through this war with yourself. And at the end of the day, you're kind of like wearing it as a badge of honor. Like, you made it, girl. You did it. Because it is something to be proud of. I think if anybody's getting themselves out of a situation where they're not happy anymore, whether that's, at a job or in a relationship or with yourself, whatever, to be able to just have a clean break and walk away is so tough. And I think more people deserve props for, making the commitment to better themselves.
Okay. I wanted to dig in a couple songs off that album. Barely Alive. You have a line in there, you only really want me when I'm out of control. And it seems like this song is about a very unhealthy relationship.
Yeah. And like I said, people can interpret the songs whatever way fits them best. That was really intentional. For me, the most toxic relationship that I've ever had is with myself. So Barely Alive to me is writing about self-sabotage. I only like myself when I'm creating problems for myself because that seems safe. So, when you see something, when things are going well, or, you're not comfortable with that and your brain so badly wants to keep you stuck where you're at, regardless of if it's healthy for you or not. So I kind of touch on using alcohol and things like that to cope with, like I said, with self-sabotage and just kind of creating your own chaos. But definitely there's been relationships with people where it feels like they only like you and they only need you when you're at the worst version of yourself, because when you're at your best, they have a harder time controlling who you are, and that's uncomfortable. So there's dual meanings in all of these, but specifically for me, it was about kind of recognizing my own toxic patterns and trying to break free of those now that the rose-colored glasses have come off a little bit.
I'll give up my soul. You only like to hurt me. I'm fighting for my life, but you only really want me.
Okay. The next song is Dead as Hell. And there's a line in there. Oh, those nights you tried to break me. It's not me, it's you. It sounds like kind of like gaslighting. There's no accountability.
Yeah, yeah. Again, this is sort of like the finale of breaking free of all of your own toxic patterns to me. Like, we don't do that anymore. You try to keep me down. You like, and this is me talking to myself. Like, the entire thing is basically me talking to myself, but just kind of holding myself accountable for not slipping back into those bad patterns. Just being like, hey, no, this is dead. We're done. We're moving on. But again, it can be attributed to any situation that people are going through where they feel like somebody is trying to keep them small and gaslight them, and just taking a moment to break free of those people pleasing patterns and hold your boundaries.
Yeah, like there's like an angel on one side and a devil on the other, and you're trying to balance that out somehow.
100%. I always say, like, when you're breaking up with yourself specifically, it's so hard because you can't go no contact from yourself. You have to be the one to hold yourself accountable, and it's tough and it's brutal. But if you can't hold yourself accountable, then nobody else is going to. So you have to figure out what works for you. And for me, that's putting shit into songs and talking about it. So people can be like, no, you said you didn't do this anymore. And I'm like, damn, you're right.
Like breaking patterns from your past behavior.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a chill burning through my bones. You left me gray, always throwing stones. How many chances you think you're here left? We're dead as hell. We're dead as hell. Age is sad. Cold as ice, that's what you made me. Running to the gun, no forgiveness left here. You took the matches, burning to ash. We're dead, dead, dead. All those nights you tried to break me. It's not me, it's you, taking us the same grave. You took the matches, burning to ash. We're dead, dead, dead. We're dead as. We're dead as hell.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the music scene and about the music industry. If you could change one thing about the music industry, what would it be?
Um, I wish people would allow themselves to be a little bit more real. I think there's such a pressure for artists to always put on the smile and all of this, and um, I think it's just a little bit more real when you're letting people into you just being a person, you know, um, allowing yourself to have bad days and share that, allowing yourself to have problems with people instead of just pretending everybody's friends with everybody. It's not realistic. We're people. And I think that's why, and I'm probably going to get some slack for this, but I think that Ronnie Radke has been really great just because, love him or hate him, I appreciate his ability to just say whatever he wants. And the people that get it, and the people that don't. And that's okay. Not everybody is for everybody. And he's been a really big inspiration for me to sort of break down my own personal need to feel like I have to please everybody and never stand up for myself. So shout out to you, Ronald.
Um, have you ever had any problems in the music scene with gatekeeping?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of people who, and it's not even to shade anybody or fault anybody. Everybody works so hard to get to a certain level, and when you find something that works for you, you don't want to share it a lot of times because it feels like it's not special to you anymore, and that you've just kind of given like the magic key of or a shortcut to somebody. And it's not really like that, you know? Like, I think that people forget that just because you have the same recipe doesn't necessarily mean that the sauce is always going to taste the same. So I try to be open with, if I have any like tips or tricks that I've picked up along the way, I love to share it because I know, my personal journey in this industry, nobody wanted to help me. So if I can do my part to give back where I can, and even if it's just a little nugget of advice, then I'm happy to do it. But there are a lot of people that do feel the way that I do, but there's also an equal amount of people that are only out for themselves. And more power to you. If that's what works for you, then who am I to shit on your day? Like,
Okay. What's your plans for the winter?
oh man, I'm just gonna be a little hermit, I think, and just winter and fall are my favorite for like cozy foods and stuff. That's when all the good flavors come out, like salted caramels and maples and pumpkin, as the basic bitch that I am. So I really steer into all of that, and then behind the scenes, I'm just gonna keep working away on whatever comes next. Keep writing, maybe do some fun covers or something. Yeah, just kind of keep it pushing, and all the while be in my little rat cave and pig out on snacks because I love that.
Do you have any shows coming up or anything?
I have nothing on the books, and that's wild because that's not happened in like over a decade of me doing this. But I think it's necessary to kind of take some time to yourself and, kind of build yourself back up instead of feeling constant pressure to do X, Y, and Z. So I am excited to take a little break and just focus on family, focus on creating, and just doing things that make me happy as they kind of come in, say yes and no to opportunities. And like I said, just keep it going. I am looking forward to getting back on stage though, so don't get it twisted. I love being on a stage, and I just want to get to a point where I am bursting to get out there instead of being like, oh shit, I gotta play the show. Because sometimes that happens. Even when you love something, you do get tired, especially when you're not ready up here.
Yeah, like when it becomes more work than fun.
Yeah, exactly.
How can we get a hold of you? Facebook, Instagram?
I am trying to be everywhere. So Facebook, Insta. I'm on TikTok now, which is so scary, but I'm doing it. But then Threads, Spotify, YouTube's, I'm on all of it, and that is draining. The internet is the Wild West, but you can find me, and I am still small enough, obviously, where I try as hard as I can to reply to every single comment, every single message. I just want to get to know people and really build a community here. So come say hi. I only bite if you're an asshole.
Okay. That's all the questions I have. Thanks for coming on the show today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I just want to thank you for allowing me to come here today and talk to you about Rotted and Blank Era. I'm super excited. It's been like such a huge secret and hush hush for so long that being able to sit here and actually chat about it feels wild. So thank you for having me. Thank you to anybody who watched this. Please like, share, follow, make videos, tag me, say hi, all of that good stuff, and let's be friends. I need them.